That's going to be too kicky. Yeah, and that's too matty. I like the brush feeling.
Yeah, this is kind of...
I'd like to say, gosh, everybody was just clamoring after us to do Iron Man, but we're all Iron Man fans. It was like the perfect thing for the studio. So we went after the show, and at just about the time that Jon Favreau was signed to actually direct it,
the world and make them function. The big challenge was the fact that they hadn't cast anyone to Iron Man.
And here it is. Here's the final.
And that's what it comes to. Here it is.
Yeah. That's what we get. The amount we have to spend.
The journey you generally go through in the creation of a suit is you sit down with Stan Winston, his design team, our internal team, Favreau, the producer, and everyone starts with drawings and images, and you Photoshop, and you get to sort of a 2D drawing, like a color drawing that you can hang up. That then gets moved to a modeling stage, to a 3D model, so you see a quick time of the model gets raised. Then that goes to a clay maker, and then you see the first clay made of it. It's something tangible that you can touch and you can spin.
And we're convinced that a human head would actually fit in this thing, right? It's exciting. This is when you really get a sense of the movie coming together, when you start to see this. It's a bigger leap in some ways to go from an idea to this than to go from this to the actual movie.
And then there's generally a maquette that's made, which is a miniature desktop model of it, and it might be only 2 feet tall.
It's a work in progress, but it's coming along.
That's great.
Obviously, we don't have the wardrobe when we get the film.
And then you wait, and you know the next step is the suit. And it's the full-size, shootable, physical suit that a person is going to get into.
I've never made a movie of this size before or of this genre. I've always been a fan, but it's a daunting undertaking. The day I knew everything was going to be okay was the day that Robert Downey Jr. was attached to play Iron Man.
That is gorgeous.
What Kevin's going to do...
Winston's reputation and Shane, the guys on that team, I worked with them before. Every time you go into their shop, you go, oh my God, and they did that, and they did that, and AI, and this and that. And you see a history of films that I grew up on. God bless. I buy into movies. I love it. I see The Fly. I don't care if that's Jeff Goldblum or, you know, I'm like, I'm in it. They're transporting, flies dying. I mean, I'm a sucker for this stuff.
The best thing I can tell you about me is ultimately I just don't do anything. Oh, I'm sick. I'm out of here.
Right.
Later.
Get a good night.
Stan, thanks.
Good to see you.
Okay.
See you soon. I walk in like a fan because I say it humbly because I really don't do it. I did it when I started. Now I oversee it. Shane oversees it. Everybody. I just enjoy it. I come in and it's easy for me to say, wow, that's cool, do more of that. You know, make sure my name is on the screen.
How many gags are you doing?
We're going to do the inclined one after this one, but this one right now you're more upright. We're just going to do a small blender section.
Hey, I don't like my little tummy there. I'm not doing all this core work for nothing. That's all I'm saying. Behold the mass.
I'm beholding the We could hold off on this part. We are building a prototype while we're going. We've never built an Iron Man suit before.
Dude, you're zooming in on my hammer right now, aren't you?
He's up on the hammer.
Twisted parlor game's going down here.
And so you're given a launching gun, and then you have to hit the finish mark with the suit done. So it's not like we are ever able to kind of make one and then scrap it and make another one and make improvements and scrap that. And we have to actually work it all out and deliver at the time we're supposed to.
Faster!
Right now you're in the Stan Winston mold shop, the finishing shop. What you see behind me is where most of the parts are being modeled and parts are being painted. There's about 450 individual parts that make this suit. This is going to be the Mark II's chest. This is where the RT will go, and it's actually spray chrome metal, and it's been brushed. this is actually the process of putting in the rivets based on the design. And it's not really a polished rivet at all. It's just the illusion of a polished rivet. These are 2 pieces from the Mark III, and these are from our early test. This enormous calf that has sort of the accoutrement of like jet engines and things. But the foot goes in here, and then these panels had to be designed to slide and move. These are large sections of the Crimson Dynamo that are being made. This is a negative flexible mold, and these are just quickie temporary molds to pull out hard shells. What's interesting about what Trevor's painting is that this is a flexible paint for urethane that doesn't crack or buckle, and we have a lot of parts that are actually flexible. It took a long time to get that to work. This is Tim Nordella, who's mechanizing the Crimson Dynamo. It'll all be dressed like a very, very tight and down below, like the cockpit of a dive vessel. But right now, these are just the outer shells and sort of the escape hatch of this particular thing.
In Winston's company, so far, this is John and my second film with them. It's still a pretty magical experience when that suit's first rolled out. Shane likes to put it behind.
What do you do today?
I turned it on. Voila!
And then you look at it and you touch it, and it's sort of half excitement and half fear because it's very real. And generally, you're pretty close to production at that point when that suit's shown to you. So hopefully your research was right, and the proportions all line up, and the textures are good, and the colors, and all the decisions you made along the way make sense.
Once you start to not see the whole guy, the
Yeah.
proportions of him, and I think 235 is a good move here. I think it holds up really well.
When John first saw it, he was all smiles. I mean, he was really happy, intersecting and chipping off paint and that kind of thing. But by the end of the day, he'd really gotten the full range of motion and sort of learned to live in the suit. Those dailies at the end of the day were just amazing. I think everyone was just blown away.
Your endurance level has to be up for it because it's a double-edged sword. We have to make it light enough to move, but we have to make it heavy enough not to just completely, crack apart when somebody puts too much muscle into it.
Just do a, like camera. What it feels like you're doing inside the suit doesn't relate at all. When I'm walking, if I look down to see my mark at all, they notice. But when I roll my shoulders up and try to get the hero pose, they can barely see it. So it's taken a while to watch ourselves on camera to learn what it looks like and what the moves relate to.
Another rotation, Mike.
Right here at Locke's and looking what looked best, and then them saying, yeah, hold that, and things from the comic book that they took and poses they want, and then there were some that we came up with our own, and just different looks, and just trying to show that you can see his character. If he's angry or if things are going good in the suit, they wanted to see that on camera.
Roll camera. Action.
Yes, of course, there's going to be a great deal of digital work that has to be done to bring something like this to life on screen. But the fact of the matter is these suits truly exist, and they are going to be there, and they're going to be on the set, and they're going to be actors, and we are going to see the real thing along with the digital thing.
Let me in the car. Join me. Let's get that. Let us start. We can raise all the funds. I live in
No, that'd be great. That'd be great. I mean,
I think it was my manager, David Schiff, was very excited about this project. He was telling me about Iron Man. I said, who's directing it? He said, Jon Favreau. I said, oh.
Robert's a guy who is very disciplined in his approach to everything he does, and he's really gotten his body and his mind into a very, sort of clear, disciplined state, and that sort of carried over into how he prepared for the role.
Wherever the direction is, just point kind of the opposite way. Right?
Yeah. When you feel it going the other direction, act like you're trying to counter it. And you go the other there, just like that.
I think he was very aware that he sort of had a burden in this film that he hadn't had before. He could sort of be charming and funny and come in and out of a movie and steal scenes in the past, but now he was a, sort of an iconic superhero.
It's good to eat about 10 minutes before this, right?
Oh, yeah.
I weight train crazily, and I do a lot of martial arts and yoga, Kung Fu, Wing Chun Kung Fu, but I was doing that anyway. But anyway, I feel like I've got a 5 to 7 year window, and then if it goes past that, then I'm sure all the optical stuff and CGI will have advanced to make you look better.
Good. How's the leg, baby? Yeah, no, great shape. Legs are ready.